Well, now I have the opportunity to address you all. I want to welcome everyone to Catastrophe Readiness and Response. And this is kind of a neat class because it centers a lot around planning and getting ready. My name is Ron Cantom, and I'm the adjunct instructor online and in brick and mortar at UNH, and I'm happy to be with you. I'm glad you're here. We'll take this journey together. It's a pretty neat journey. We're going to learn a lot of pretty interesting things. Emergency management is an evolving science. It's something that every time we have a disaster or a catastrophe, it changes. You have to have a framework, and we'll talk about framework and planning, but you have to have a plan. And I will tell you, the amount of planning you do it will be a direct proportion to the amount of success you have after it's over. So planning and success absolutely go hand in hand when it comes to emergency management, particularly in the realm of catastrophe and disaster. Some of the things we're going to talk about, systems, emergency management systems, how things work, how things come together, sometimes in a synergistic way, the legal, social, economic impacts of a catastrophe on the people, because remember, the people are always first no matter what. And we'll talk about what their immediate and emergent needs are going to be when, in fact, something like this happens. Private industry has a role. Private industry within their facilities, if you think about large facilities like refineries and places like that, pharmaceutical companies, they have their own emergency management systems. We're going to take a look at those and see how they intermingle with our municipal emergency management systems and how they can be an asset to the municipal government at times. Mass relocation and resettlement. If you think about what happened to Katrina, we took 50,000 people and sent them to Houston, Texas. Houston, Texas wasn't ready. Those people were resettled. They lost their community. What's the community? Your friends, your church, your physicians. They had no sense of community. And then all of a sudden, there's a 10 or 15,000 child influx into the school system where they're going. And those folks who are receiving them are thinking, well, these are refugees, and they get labeled and that kind of thing. So we're going to talk about all that in this course. And then assistance. The federal government, from the feds to what we call NGOs, non-governmental organizations like the Red Cross, the churches. You've seen all these groups come out. You have to manage those groups. They have to be managed. After 9/11, hundreds of thousands of responders who volunteered just converged on Lower Manhattan. They weren't managed. They were getting in the way. They weren't organized. So at one point, the National Guard stepped in and pushed everybody back and said, hey, wait a minute. We're glad you folks are here, but you need to be on the same page as everybody else. So managing your volunteers is another aspect that people kind of don't think about. The crux of the class, I think, is we talk a lot about planning. I mean, there are nice national frameworks. It doesn't mean they're all correct. You're going to have the opportunity to look at those frameworks and say, I'm not so sure I like it, or I can improve it by adding this, so I wouldn't even bother doing that because it takes too much time. We're not going to get a bang for our buck, so to speak. So with all of that, planning is the key, and again, the amount of planning you do will certainly give you the amount of success on the other end. So with that, grab your hard hat, your safety shoes, because we're going out into the field, and you will be going out in the field and meeting with an emergency an emergency manager within your town or jurisdiction, and sit with them and take a look at their operation and read their plan and see if it's good or bad, and say, hey, I'm here to help, and you'll see more instruction in the website. I'll be very available to you, we could say that, checking in a couple times a week. There's instructions on the blackboard for you, and I look forward very much to meeting all of you online, having good discussions, and walking you through the process, and we'll get there together. So good luck. I'm glad you're here, and welcome to CRR, Catastrophe Readiness and Response. Have a great day.